Hello. So today I want to talk about a fun card game called Seers Catalog. Notice the wordplay. I'm always a big fan of that. So in this game, you are essentially a seer who is hunting werewolves. Again, if the theme doesn't apply to you, it's not going to detract from the gameplay, I don't think. So you will have all of these items in your hand that are going to be worth different points, and they are in different colored suits. So this game plays 2 to 5 players, and depending on the number of players you have, that's how many suits you'll use. So last time I played this was a 4-player game, so we have 4 different colors in here. And then there is also the 5th color. And each one lists an item that could be used to help you fighting a werewolf, again, as though this were a catalog, like the old Sears catalog that people used to purchase from. And in addition to getting cards from the catalog, every player will be given a wild card every round, and a wild is exactly what you think it would be. And then there are these artifact cards, and you will put in 2 artifacts per player. You must play with the go first artifact, because without this, nobody could go first. And then there are suggested artifacts to put in based on player count when you have new players. After that, mix and match them if you have favorite artifacts, or just shuffle them up and add them in per the player count. Totally fine. So you are going to deal out the cards to everybody. And let's just say this was my hand. And everybody's also going to get one of these. So when you have 6 or more cards in your hand, it's on this side. And essentially, if you have 6 or more cards in your hand, when somebody gets rid of all of their cards, because that is what ends around, you are only eligible for negative points. If you have fewer than 6 cards in your hand when somebody goes out completely, you are eligible for bonus points. Now, this game does often end the rounds in negative points. If you are the person who gets rid of all your cards, you got 0 points that round. So you're not eligible for bonus points because you have nothing left in your hand, but you also don't go negative. So it's not a terrible idea to go out first, but you are unlikely to win the entire game. And sometimes you don't have an option, because when you have 6 or more cards on your hand, you can pass. You can be like, I'm going to pass. I'm good. Not going for it this time, either because you cannot play or because you don't want to. Maybe you're saving up for a bigger move. Once you are, it's called being in bonus, meaning you have 5 or fewer cards in your hand. You don't have the option to voluntarily pass. If you can play, you must play. So how are we playing these cards? Well, the person who goes first, who has the artifact that tells them, they can play that card first, because it's essentially the only one, the number 1 in the game. Everything else is numbered 2 through 13. And it even tells you that your wild cards can only be numbered 2 through 13. They cannot be placed higher than 13. There is actually an artifact that becomes a 13.5 or a 14. This can't do it for you, and this cannot be a 1. So you can play a single card. So let's say I played this 7 out here. The player to the next move must now play a single card that is higher. So anywhere between 8 and 13, or again, using an artifact to make a card higher. So they could do that, or they could pass. Play goes around. Another option is, if I'm starting the round, I could start it out with doubles, or triples, or quadruples would be the most, because there is 1 of every number in the suit. So if I play doubles, the next player must also play higher doubles. So that's easy. And then the other option is you can play a sequence. So I could, but they must be the same color. So I could play a 7-8. The next person must play a sequence that's higher than my 7-8. So 8-9, 9-10. But they can still only play 2 cards, because I led with a sequence of 2. They can only play 2. So it's very important that whatever is led off must be followed. Another option would be, I could put in my wild card, and here's a sequence of 4. 10, 11, 12, 13. Odds of somebody beating this are very low, unless they have an artifact that can let them increase a card, but odds are very low. So this is what I mean. I may have wanted to pass before to save up for a bigger move. And then play simply continues until someone that round plays out all of their cards. And when that happens, you score up. So if you are the person who played out all of your cards, you get 0 points. If you have more than 6 cards left in your hand, you get -1 point for each card. The value of the cards does not matter, but you will get -1 for each card. If you are under 5, scoring is a little wonky. So you will look at your items and you will take your 2 lowest items in your hand. So let's say I had this 13 and 7. I get to score my lowest item, which is 7. And then not your 2 lowest items. You take your lowest item and then you subtract how many cards are from it. So 7 would be my positive points minus 2 cards. I would have gotten 5 points that round. Now, let's say I had been greedy and held on to my wild. Wilds and artifacts are worth 0. So this is now 0 minus 2 cards. So I got -2 that round. So that's where playing out can sometimes be beneficial because you get 0. You don't get punished for negative. So you want to get rid of your artifacts and your wilds before somebody plays out completely. Otherwise, those are going to count as a 0 for you, and you're then going to have to subtract the number of cards that you got. Again, if you have over 6, doesn't matter. It's -1 point per card. So I have found that the first round, the scoring's a little weird, but if you play one round, people are like, oh, got it. So the game's intended to last 4 rounds. Obviously, it's your game. It's your game night. If you want to play a longer game or a shorter game, you can adjust the rounds accordingly. You could play to a total point number if you wanted to. I like playing the standard 4 rounds. I think it's a fun game. Again, really just taking that first round to learn it is great. I love the wordplay. I love the art. I love the little flavor text on each of the cards. I think this is a super fun game. Take on a shedding game. So let me know, have you played it? What do you think of it? Give me a like and a follow, and I'll keep bringing you more board game content. Thanks. Bye.